Hey everybody, Mike Mully here for the Next Level Music Nerd. We're going to wrap up our Christmas haul with a very loud sampling of very loud bands. First up is the live Necronomicon? Maybe.
Necronomicon.
Necronomicon. Live Necronomicon. We're just going to wage on here because that's what we do. Anyways, live Necronomicon record released on Cleopatra Records, Ministry Live from the 1990 tour. This is a complete show from which the 1990 EP, in case you didn't feel like showing up, which was kind of a turning point for me. That's when I first heard of Ministry and was blown away. It was the second album after they kind of went completely industrial after their synth-tinged early days. This was after Land of Rape and Honey and Mine Is a Terrible Thing to Taste, so it has all those songs on it, as well as a lot of the solo songs that he did, the projects he did. There's a large song on here, which was the project he did with Jello Biafra and the Dead Kennedys. There's also some Palehead songs on here that he did as a side project with Ian MacKaye of Fugazi. Really a great collection. This was recorded in Indiana. Comes on 2 records, and really cool. This version here, limited to 500, is on blue vinyl, and it's just nice to have this all in one place after all these years of this having that little half of a concert in the form of In Case You Didn't Feel Like Showing Up. Maybe someday Warner Brothers will get around to re-releasing that concert. It would be nice for people who don't know what we're talking about from the 90s to be able to see that. Next up is the rather infamous Motorhead album On Parole, and this is with the original members Larry Willis and Lucas Fox on drums. This was recorded and not released at the time. United Artists didn't think it was releasable, and didn't come out until 1979 after the band had their debut album, Overkill and Bomber. I think United Artists had a change of heart and saw a way to cash in a little bit. So they released this album. It's a little raw and it's a little simple. The first side is just absolutely stellar. It's got On Parole, Motorhead, of course, Iron Horse, Born to Lose, and Vibrator. Really strong first side. The second side is a little different. Different vocalists are on it, and it's not quite as strong, but definitely if you're into Motorhead, this is all part of the story. You can see their roots. Phil Taylor and Eddie Clark joined the band right after the recording of this album. Eddie did not play on this album, but Phil Taylor did go in and overdub all of Lucas Fox's drums, all but one song, which he famously was in jail for. So this is definitely a cool Motorhead thing to have if you want to complete the story of Motorhead. It's definitely an important part of the story. Then I found this, which is a little bit of an oddity to me. This is the album Bastards, which came out in 2000 and, oh my god, I'm not going to have the date. Anyways, this is the album Bastards that came out, and it is one of the few albums that has the 4-piece version of Motorhead with Wurzel and Phil Campbell. So this is a really cool collection. This was kind of a comeback album for them. And it's definitely got back to their roots. Different cover than the original release, but I thought it was worth getting just to have it something a little different. And while we're sticking with sort of the new wave of British heavy metal, I just rescored the Raven All For One album, and this was on Important Records through Megaforce in the States. Of course, Raven, legendary new wave of British heavy metal band. Their first album, Rock Till You Drop, is a standard bearer for what thrash could be and what thrash became later on. Definitely a band, if you're not familiar with, definitely worth going to check out. And I bought this. I also got their second album, Wiped Out, which is another great album. This is actually on the original Neat Records from England. A great record from them, great second record. Has Faster Than the Speed of Light, Bring the Hammer Down, great songs in that thrash metal style that only really Raven does. I mean, you will never mistake Raven for any other band. Getting back to Christmas presents, this was an album that came out missing in my collection and my beautiful girlfriend bought for me, and we had a little throwback to our teenage days. And of course, Aerosmith Live Bootleg was always on my turntable for a long time back in the day. It's always nice to have something back after it's been gone for a while. Really great album from Aerosmith and the boys. Definitely one of my favorites. Also, finally, on the kind of a holy grail sort of motif here, this is the Metallica Garage Incorporated. This is 3 albums worth of cover tunes. This is everything. This is all Garage Days Revisited. All the Motorhead songs are on here. All the cover tunes that they did are here. This really cool gatefold, and comes with a nice little lyric sheet. And I thought there was a book. No. Anyways, lots of cool little notes in here about what was recorded where and when. Really cool to have all this in one place. Now I don't have to buy any more Motorhead or Metallica, I should say Metallica, cover albums. As you can see, it has absolutely all the cover tunes that Metallica ever did, all in one place. Really cool to have this on vinyl. Also, another throwback, my lovely girlfriend bought me Live Evil. The Black Sabbath album was the last Black Sabbath album to feature Ronnie James Dio, I believe. He left the band while they were mixing this album, and did come back subsequently, but I don't think that they recorded under the moniker Black Sabbath. I think they did. The future releases were done as the band Heaven and Hell. Very cool album to have, nonetheless. Live Evil, Sabbath, Dio era Sabbath in their prime, belting it out. Great version of what am I thinking of here? Great version of Heaven and Hell, and can't really go wrong. Obviously, Tony Iommi, legendary player. Nice to have this back in my collection as well. Also, another new one for me was this To the Death '84 Voivod record. Very, very old school, back in the day. 2-record set. This is on Alternative Tentacles record. This was another present from me to me. And going to see Voivod. Voivod is going to be here in March at the Town Ballroom, so you guys want to get your tickets for that. Voivod, not to be missed. They don't come to Western New York very often. Hopefully we start a trend and they can be back here a little more often. Also got another record from Alternative Tentacles, Radis Deportis. This is not the newest album by them, but this album came out a few years ago, and it is just really great. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the record album because I'm not going to do it right, but really great, just like punk-infused thrash band from Brazil. Super political, super aggressive, very raw. Amazing record though, gotta admit. Wish I could have got the new one, but it was sold out. This album, like I say, is from a couple years ago. Had the privilege of seeing these guys in New York at CBGB's. One of the last times I was there, I believe 2001, 2002 perhaps, was in New York and got to see them play. Just an amazing, amazing cool band that unfortunately has not come to Western New York and doesn't seem to tour very much in this area. Of course, another one up from Alternative Tentacles is a great band, Unsane, kind of out of hibernation for them. This is their first album in a while. If you like Helmet, if you like that sort of post-industrial guitar, this is a great band to check out. This new album is definitely a comeback album for them. Really great stuff. Once again on the Alternative Tentacles label, and another $10 record. Thanks Christmas. Thanks Kris Kringle. Just to let you know, if you have any comments or any questions or anything you'd like me to talk about, you can put your comments somewhere over here or over there on YouTube. Thanks a lot, Mike Mully, for Next Level Music Nerd.